start again. Next post. We're going to have 3 or 4 candidates. We're going to do women's officer next. Anybody standing for women's officer, please come to right. And I also want, guys, please, I need also any other liberation candidates, so that is disabled. There is a black officer I think standing this year, and the LGBT people as well. I'll do 3 sets, okay? Right, final call. 1, 2, 3. Come on, Nathan, please. Come and join us. Have fun. Alright, guys, let's have some order. Guys, ladies, gentlemen, my fellow ULU students, ex-students, we're going to start again. I have 2 candidates now.
Can we have order in the room, please?
Okay, thank you. All right, if you would like to speak first, 3 minutes, please, and I'll tell you when you've got a minute to go. Okay?
Hello, my name is Swana. I am from Royal Hallway, and I'm my 3rd year. I'm also president of the Feminist Society. 2 years I've been the only West Women's delegate for Royal Hallway, and this year I'm running for ULU officer. During my time at Royal Hallway, I've not only been able to find my own activity, but also help others find theirs. As ULU Women's Officer, my focus will be using my experience and resources to empower women across ULU to fight for what they want and what they need. This past year, I founded the London Student Feminist Network, a strong network of students that meet monthly at the Feminist Library to discuss and coordinate campaigns. And I've played an important role in organising the first ever Student Feminist Conference right here in ULU last weekend. Over 100 students came from all over the UK, as far as Scotland, I think, to share experiences, learn and inspire each other. I consider these to be my 2 greatest achievements as a student feminist, and they demonstrate my commitment to facilitating spaces where women can work together and empower each other to create change. And I know that these women do not need a women's officer to tell them what to do and how to campaign, but a women's officer who will provide them with the support and platforms that they can use to make their campaigns even more successful. And I believe that I am the most experienced woman to do that. The word intersectionality, which refers to the recognition of connection between issues such as race, gender, sexuality, and disability, is central to my feminism. As president of Royal Hallway, I've helped organise events with the Afro-Caribbean Society, the LGBT Society, and the Sisters of ISOC to talk about the representation of different women in the media. I've also spoke on the panel as a disabled student woman at the Royal Hallway Let's Talk About Disability event. I want to work with the London Student Liberation Network to strengthen liberation activism across ULU. I believe that all our institutions should have zero tolerance against sexual harassment policies and infiltrate them properly, in order to ensure that unis are safe spaces for women to live and learn in. I also believe that the government's attack on education is turning back time for women's liberation, along with the cuts to NHS and support services for student parents and carers. I want to help groups communicate the effects of these cuts to women students and build campaigns to defend these public services.
30 seconds.
I also intend to ensure that students have access to quality sexual and reproductive health services. I want to put women's rights, activities and welfare at the heart of ULU. And if you want that too, please vote Swana for the new Women's Officer.
Thank you for coming all the way from Royal Hallway on this night. And you have 20 seconds left to go. You win the wooden spoon for being in time after Thomas, I believe. Next we're going to have Tice, also 3 minutes. 1 minute before the end I will give you the sign. Please keep it as cool as you can on that amount. Please give it up for Tice. 3 minutes, go. Thank you.
My name is Thais Yanis. I'm a student in Berwick. I'm the anti-fascism, anti-racism officer there. I'm also part of the ULU Senate that actually voted for the creation of this post, which I'm very proud of. Why do I think we need a women's post? a women's officer because there are 5 white men standing for president and vice president. There isn't a woman yet. We don't have enough representation in this university. We don't have enough representation of liberation officers. That's very, very true. And I say it more than anybody as a black, disabled, LGBT woman. I know that we definitely need more representation. Will mention my manifesto, which I found extremely interesting. That I do say something about hierarchy. It's not about hierarchy, no, it's not. It's not competition to see who's plus one. And it's definitely not a women's place to run campaigns for people if she doesn't understand them. Well, I'm lucky that I don't understand them. And the point is that one of my policies is that I co-created and convened the London Student Liberation Network, which is a network that aims to pool resources and contribute to everybody, get all the liberation officers together to create events, promote campaigns, etc. I'm planning to do build a ULU Women's Forum, which will be women, students, and not only officers, because it's not about just officers. It's about every woman in self-defining women in this university, with which will go from just discussion to actual policy, drafting policy, to take to councils, to take to the Senate, so we can vote for it and we can make a policy in the universities.
1 minute.
Yeah, opposing cuts, the anti-peace and anti-cause are the heart of my policies. Intersectionality, fighting transphobia, that's extremely important for me. Fighting for women's right to choose. Definitely no tolerance at all to sexism on campuses, and that goes from being molested or insulted in the pub to liberation of curriculum, for example. Solidarity with workers' struggles, like the Three Causes campaign, which is a fight that there is in ULU at the moment for cleaners, which also include women. But it's not, again, it's not just women that are oppressed. Everybody at the moment in this country is being oppressed by the amazing, horrible cops that we have in the country. And yeah, for me, you know, Secretary.
Candice, please stay there. Thank you for that. Thank you for that contribution. I hope I didn't interrupt you and cut your time off. Because we're running out of time, I'd like you to just ask a simple question to both candidates and keep it clean and keep it quick because we are running out of time. The next thing will be, I believe, disabled officer? LGBT, sorry. London students, the next one. Okay, I need just a question to both candidates and keep it brief. I believe you can answer.
This is directed to both candidates. I think you're going to both be paid, assuming you get paid the same as the current president and vice president, I believe you'll be paid in the region of £19,000 a year. How do you justify that, considering the fiscal problems that unions as a union is facing? Secondly, do you think there is a need for a ULU-wide one, considering at all constituent colleges they have their independent women's officer, and I know for a fact at UCL, for example, as well, there is a women's officer in each individual department. How do you justify your £90,000 salary a year? Are you need it?
Thank you. Let the sister from Royal Holloway answer first, since she spoke first.
Okay.
Please go.
One, there isn't a women's officer in every single university. I know that because me and Dan fought for one last year because they've been diminishing over across the country because people think they're not needed anymore, which is surprising because it's 50% of women in university, so they've been seriously sexually harassed.
But are women's rights covered by another officer?
Candidate, please reply.
There are sometimes women's officers when they can, but these women's officers aren't trained by anyone. They're just put into the role like, my communications officer is now going to be running for a women's officer. Nobody's been women's officer before, she doesn't know what to do. So what to do is bring them all here, get them trained properly with the information that they need to go back to the campuses to be filled. Over the amount I'm paid, I can't control that, but I will take cuts or give the money that I'm paid for to go into campaigns if that's needed.
Thank you for that answer. I would like Thais to reply to this specific question, and then I want one question on this side just to make sure that it's balanced out. We'll come back to you, Thomas. I believe you had your hand up next. Would you like to reply, please? Go.
Yeah, like Susanna said, there is one in your college, and that's part of also my aims is creating a full-time women officer in every single college in this University of London. The pay, if you expect somebody to commit the whole year and her whole life to campaigning for liberation for women and to like fight fees, I would assume that it is fair. I have no idea why it is so much. I don't know why it is so little, depending on what people think of the amount. But I would see it as a job to actually make sure that it's worth the money.
Just to clarify, in your speech, you said the reason you're standing for women's officer is because 5 white males are standing for the presidency and vice presidency. Is that true? Is that the reason you're standing for women's officer?
No, I said it was.
That's what you did say.
I said one of the reasons that I found really interesting.
No, you said the reason you're standing was because
okay,
of
well,
that.
can I rephrase that? Can I rephrase that? Can I say that one of the it's a very interesting fact that there is the representation and the involvement of women in the university
so you're not
and in
standing
events and campaigns are actually shadowed by, even in any organization, the huge amount of the composition of organizations, including like even the Senate, for example, at the moment, are mainly men. So I think we do need a representative of women, for women. We do need more women in leadership posts to bring participation to the campuses and to get the grassroots out and campaigning for their, like, not for me or for you or for anybody, but for women's issues.
Thank you for that answer. I would like one question from this side, preferably somebody else ask a question. You sure? Okay, we'll have the ex-candidate at the back, please, Mr. Fred Perry. It has to be both of them. You can stand up, go on, so do that. Yes? Please, sister, if you haven't asked a question, I'd rather you something new. We want to ask you. Okay. All right, all right. Okay, then. Okay, go.
What do you plan on doing to increase protection towards women on campus? What campaigns, what do you plan on doing?
Thank you. Rose, one of your sister first, please.
Well, firstly, the NUS had this zero tolerance policy. It was based on research we did on campuses about how we felt on campuses, and we did our own research on campuses to see the rates and where the problems were. Then we got the policy in, then we found that the policy didn't mean anything because NUS hadn't had training for it. So I worked with the director at NUS Women's Officer to create training for new women's officers to take back to their campuses. Also, I want to work with an organisation called Hollaback, and they tackle student harassment. They now built this app where you can report student harassment and essentially near to put it up, and they make it campus focused too. So they work with universities. So wherever you are on campus, you can go to near to put it up and report back. So those are two things I really want to report for.
Thank you. Can we have the next candidate to the Birkbeck student speak, please?
I would think right now I can only think of 3 things. One of them is training not just for women's officers but for men and women and certifying women and certifying men about sexism, about the effects sexism has in people, especially women who are the most affected. I mean students, I mean workers, I mean teachers. I know it's a very ambitious project, but I think we have a lot of resources that we could pull at some point, at least for students and workers. If you go to a bar in the university, you are found, you do find a lot of sexism and a lot of harassment. I don't think, apart from awareness campaigns, I don't think awareness and charity is the answer. I think campaigning and action is. So apart from awareness and training, I think a strong zero tolerance policy for sexism is what we need, and that's what we need to pass in councils and take to the universities and in the ULU Senate and take it to ULU so it becomes part of the Constitution.
Thank you for your answer. I'm going to ask a written question from somebody who had to leave earlier and who may or may not come back into the room. Just on the point of fairness, and afterwards, I'm going to ask this question first. I want you to think about the answer, don't reply. I will also take a question from Thomas, but it has to be to both people. First, I'll ask the question. This is from a person, there's a sister from UCL who studied at the moment, from Louisa, the officer from UCL PGA. This is more to postgrads. It's what issues do female postgrads face, as far as you're aware, and what are you going to do to address them if you are elected to this particular post? That is the question. I want you to think about that question and answer it. Is it a question about candidate or general? Okay, let them answer this, then you can have your question. Okay, this is just on female postgrads, what would you do, etc. And it's from Louisa from UCL PEA. Go.
Well, this is where sort of intersections connect. So I work with, if there's a women's officer in the campus, her and the postgrad, because they know most about their campus, and each campus would have different issues with their postgrad officers. Get them all in a room, talk about what issues they have, how the ULU can help them, then go on from there.
Okay, could we have the candidate from Berkeley replying to this specific question?
Apart from working, obviously, with the postgrad officers, it depends on what, there's a lot of issues. One of them is, for example, students from abroad are coming here to study a postgrad. The difficulties they face apart from isolation, lack of resources, and immigration policies, for example. That is one of the issues that I would like to address with them. With home students, I do know that I'm not sure I know enough. I would like to know more. But I do know that there is a lot of lack of space and resources as well in terms of I heard postgrad students saying that they don't have specific spaces for them. Another thing that I think is you get exploited a lot in terms of you have to give classes, or you have to prepare classes for lecturers, or you have to do a lot of work for lecturers that are already paid. And that's what I've heard. So a friend of mine is a postgrad student, and he has to prepare a lot of classes or lecture for free, to help. Basically, it's like part of the postgrad. It's not like he's been working. But I don't know how you feel about that. Maybe I would like to join in a meeting with you and see what issues specifically.
Thank you for your answer. I'm very happy that this question was asked by somebody to leave earlier. However, they have re-entered the room. So, Thomas, please, one question to both candidates.
Yeah.
Keep it brief, then I will allow supplementary from a friend or the original questioner.
We all know at the moment that the current president isn't working with the right of any of the parties. He's anti-right. Will you be working with the left and the right of any political party to resolve situations that may come about?
Can the Royal Holloway candidate student please answer this first?
Right. I plan to, my role is to take on the welfare of women, whatever party they're in, but I don't plan to work for the big party.
No, people in general, if they have a right point of view, will you listen to that and develop your own points of view, or will you just go on the way that you want?
Let her develop the answer first.
Okay, sorry. Of course, having a women's forum is not imagine to have idea that's what we're going to have. And by consensus in that forum, what those women choose as a collective and representative of the whole unit, I will put forward.
Thank you for your answer, Thais. And next I need the London student who will come forward. You're going to be on the next panel. We need to move forward. Please answer this specific Thomas's question.
Well, these are my policies and these are my plans. I would would expect to work with somebody who is sympathetic to this and who wants to support me in my role in terms of practical support or advice, training, because I do the job, or like just help in general. I also, as I said, and it is good that this one reminded me of the forums I'm proposing, which will be 1 per term. Those policies will be drafted by women, student women, not like Daniel, Michael, Thomas, or whoever it is in there. It will be only women, self-defined women.
And so therefore the right party.
Mr. Calhan,
It will have to be, the policies will have to go to the Senate. Our ideal policies will have to go to the Senate or to the councils in each university. So basically, that means that it will be voted democratically by a body, by a student body, not by 2 people or by 1 person. So, and that student body is very diverse.
Thank you. Thank you for your answers. We're going to have the London student